Hi, and welcome to Terry Travels, and welcome to 2026. I'm out on the road on New Year's Day. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. There were very few people around. I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you the new metro tunnels, the ones that I walked through in a previous video. And what I'm going to do this time is drive them both ways. It's going to be great. I haven't driven them coming back, but I've driven them on the way there, and we're going over speed bumps here. Let me just check how good the camera's anchored. It's doing fine. Yeah, very quiet time of day, very quiet time of year. New Year's Eve was good. I did a live stream, as many of you will know. I have a movie channel, and I did a live stream for 2 hours between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Fantastic. It went crazily well. Really good people on the chat. I had a good time with it. Had a glass of Prosecco. I've only had one glass of Prosecco, so I can drive. And just enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a really good vibe. Everybody was on point. We didn't get any people who were less than polite, let's say. Everybody had a lot of goodwill, a lot of bonhomie. I had a great time with it. It was something very special. And Sal helped out with it. Middle-aged geek girl helped out with it. It was a real banger. And then I had a snack, watched a shortish film, a very silly film, and went to bed. But now I'm up again. I've got my Starbucks go-to drink, a dirty chai latte tall, and I'm going to get a bit of that into me. I'm going to leave it here, and we're going to fast forward and speed ramp the thing, so that you get to see exactly what it looks like going through the metro tunnel on New Year's Day 2026. There we go. We've got the camera facing the right way. I'm going to have my dirty chai latte while we're at the red light. And next time you hear me, we're going to be heading towards the tunnel. Okay, we're in the correct lanes to go and do the tunnel. I've actually passed that pretty well because it wasn't intuitive, because you've got to go left pretty far and go in a way that usually takes you down towards Footscray. But this time it takes you into the tunnels, which is kind of groovy. And I will move over one lane because I can do it. Now, the tunnels are a toll road, but, I haven't got a problem with that. Don't use it often enough for it to be an issue. But, yeah, it's a really spectacular piece of engineering. I might have mentioned this when I did the walk. They had real trouble digging the tunnels because there were issues with toxic waste contamination from old 20th and 19th century factories along the Maribyrnong River. And so they had to do a lot of cleanup and a lot of remediation as they were digging the tunnels, because there's a lot of toxic muck in the soil, which is not what you want when you got people working there. So it took a little longer than they thought it would. But this one will take us out to the western part of Melbourne CBD. But we're not going there. I'm going to go down to the Flemington exit and then Chucky and come back again and emerge from the tunnel on the other side. In fact, I can see the tunnel exit ahead and to my right. That's the exit we're going to use on the way back. And as I suspected, the traffic isn't too bad. It's a little heavier coming the other way, but I should be okay with that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the tunnel back because I have middle-aged good girl and I have done the tunnel toward the city a couple of times, but we haven't done the other one. Right lanes, Westgate Tunnel. Thank you. I'm in one of the right lanes. And you might see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but over to my right is the exit we're going to come out of when we do the thing. Weather's been a bit cool at the moment. It's not that warm. It's only 17 degrees, which is a little egregious for summertime. But it is going to warm up this month in the wonderful month of January and into February. Then it starts cooling off again, March, April, May, and gets to shitty temperatures again. Shitty temperatures that you might remember when I did my walk to Melbourne videos. I did that in the middle of winter, which was kind of a bad choice. But here we are heading toward the tunnel. We're going into the fish traps. The tunnel entrances have like indigenous fish traps. So we're going into the first of the fish traps. I'll take off the cruise control because sometimes you get a surge of speed going into tunnels. But here we are going into the Westgate Tunnel. The other end of this tunnel is the one that I walked when I did my walk through the tunnels. I walked partly the way down this tunnel and then back again. And you might want to check that video out because it was a lot of fun. And we got a bit of rainbow lighting on the side here, which is kind of cool. And they've got submergence zones a lot marked along the right-hand walls, telling us that basically we're underwater now, under the Naarm River. I like the tunnels. They're a bit cozy. I don't know whether they're going to dirty up with use, and these kind of ivory-coloured tiles along the walls are going to end up looking mucky. I really don't know whether that's going to happen or not, but it's really weird because you don't quite know where you are. I don't know. I know I'm somewhere under the Naarm River, maybe, sort of, and I'm going through places like the edge of Yarraville and underneath the railway lines and all sorts of other things. But you don't have a clear sense of where you are when you're in this tunnel, and I kind of like that. It's a bit groovy, and I like the rainbow lighting here because it's going to piss off the right people. But up here, about from roughly here, or maybe a little further, is where I walked the tunnel. And we're going to come out to the other entrance, well, the exit, I suppose. And the fish trap at the exit is 38 meters tall. And it's all made out of wood. They're all made out of wood. They use the right materials for the fish traps. But as we go up here, you're going to see the great big arch of the Westgate Tunnel fish trap, the biggest one in the network. And I love it because I've got a medal saying I walked it that first day. Can't quite see it from here, but we'll see it briefly as we emerge from the tunnel. And it'll be arcing over the top of us. There it is, with the sun in our eyes. But yep, and now we're on the other side of we're kind of coming up to the river. And then we go along a road which goes above the local feeder roads. When I used to go to the city and I didn't want to go across the Westgate Bridge, the road that we went to go into the city through Footscray is beneath this road. This one is above it, and over to our left, which you can't see, is Footscray. But I think the other tunnel might be longer. I could be wrong, but it could be longer, which would be kind of groovy to do. And I'm looking forward to that. And it's time to take another sip of coffee. You can see the city of Melbourne ahead of us. And not looking at its best because it's a bit cloudy and grey. and it's backlit by the sun because it is, what time is it? 8:22 in the morning on New Year's Day. So, yeah, dead traffic. And I like that. If you're going to do an end of the world movie in Melbourne again, as they did with On the Beach, this will be the time of day to do it. This time on New Year's Day, very little traffic. And the tunnel's never been busy that I've driven. I've done it 3 times now. That was just the third. But it's never actually been busy. I don't think it's, it feeds well to where it needs to go. And in fact, it was designed for about, they started the design of the tunnel and also the new train lines about 20 years ago. They were really working hard to get things the way they should be. And guess what? I've taken the wrong exit. Cool. So I'm going to go down here and find a way to circle around back onto the ramps again. Because I was going to go the other exit, but I can do what I need to do here. This isn't a failure, it's a happy accident. And just a bit further up, we're kind of crossing where I walked when I did my walk to Melbourne. Because those, it's around here somewhere that I went under these tunnels, under these streets, sorry. Which is kind of cool. I'm looping back on myself in time 6 months later. Is it 6 months? Yeah, 6 months, because I started the walk to Melbourne in June. So that's kind of cool. Never driven this bit. So we're up on Diamond Road. We're in, technically we're in North Melbourne now. So if I do a left-hander here, I can try to circle around and see if it takes me where I need to be. Yep, there we go. Got an arrow. Thank you. And I can chuck a Yui here in the wilds of North Melbourne, on the mean bougie streets of North Melbourne. There we go. Got an arrow. Hang a U-turn. Okay, to Geelong, the toll road. That's the one we want. So it was a happy accident. I actually saved a little time by coming this way and chucking the Yui. So it's all good. It's a New Year's miracle. Left turn tunnel only, it says. So we'll keep an eye on that. There we are. So I've got to go this way. Toll. This is it. Cool. Thanks for marking this so well. Because what the fuck's that on the road? Okay, it was nothing big. Got lots of birds flying over me for some reason. And you can see the kind of network of roads. They're all decorated with chopsticks and green. That's the cycleway. That's actually a way for cyclists to get into the city. Then that's all new, which is kind of cool and groovy. And we're up here on the ramp. Now I know I've got to stick left here because Sal and I tried to come back this way and it didn't happen because we missed the turn off for the tunnel. But this time I'm not missing it because I'm determined not to. It's a bit further down and we're looping back on that elevated road again. So we're doing that in order to get to where we need to be. Been listening to the soundtrack to Kiss Me Kate, so I've got it in my head. Okay, so it's 80 kilometers an hour along here. And over there on the left, you can see the reason why the tunnel was built. All of that industrial stuff and all of those shipping containers. It's a way of getting the trucks to the port of Melbourne without them going on the normal freeway, because if they go over the Westgate Bridge, it causes a lot of congestion. So the tunnels exist to feed that traffic off to where it needs to go a lot more effectively than it did previously. And as the signs say overhead, the Westgate Tunnel's got work being done on it because they always do that in January where the traffic's slow. And so people are going to be using this way a bit more in the month of January because they're resurfacing the bridge, the Westgate Bridge, sorry, not the tunnel, the bridge. And it looks like I'm on the right road. Yep, I would say I am, because there's a friggin' big fish trap up ahead of me. Here we are, we're going into the tunnel and going to groove on that too. And this is the other exit. This splits off, but this is actually the big 38-meter fish trap here. In fact, if I remember correctly, this is actually the bit that I walked through. It's not the bit on the other side. This is the bit I walked through when we did the walk through the tunnel. Yep, it is. It's very familiar. So this is actually where I pranced down the hill on quite a warm day, wandered around, came back, got a medal. And again, you've got the wonderful rainbow and the lights here. We went way down here as well. So yeah, this is a lot more familiar to me. I misspoke earlier. I apologize. But here we are in the utilitarian tunnels beneath the Melbourne River. Yeah, this is definitely a longer tunnel. We've got the feels on it. Yeah, it's long. Yeah, I've got to do this drive with Sal as well. On the 2nd, which is tomorrow, come to think of it, we're going over to the other side of town to visit my father-in-law, Peter, because tomorrow is his 80th birthday. And so we're going over there to hang out with him and give him a bottle of whiskey and hang out with the fam. But today we're doing the tunnel. I'm even going a little below the speed limit just to groove on the curving wonderfulness of this piece of engineering. I reckon this is the longest tunnel in Melbourne. No way it's not. It is quite impressively large. And we're still going downwards. We're not going up. We're still going downwards here. And there's only one car inside, which is about 300-400 meters behind me. Still going downwards. Wow, where the hell does this thing end? Pellucidar. And I see light ahead, so I think we're coming out where we need to be. But I'm actually going to move over because I've got to merge onto a freeway again when I get out. And as I said, there's not much coming up behind me. Though if I'm in the fast lane here, and our fast lanes are on the right, I probably should get up to the speed limit. But here we are, we're just heading upward now to go out of the other fish trap exit. There are 4 fish traps on the Westgate Tunnel. And this is the 4th and final one. Actually, there are 3. There's a big one over the other area, the other side, and there's 2 entrance ones. So there's 3. The big one spans both ways. So heading up now and through the arch, and we're back in the world. We've left the underworld, we're back in the world. Now I've got to watch my lanes here because I need to stay on the road towards Geelong. That was fun. I enjoyed that. That was something I've never done, which is always something nice to do. It's always good to do things you haven't done before. And doing both ways in the tunnel in one big swooping loop, which didn't take as long as I thought it would, is a bit of fun. So I've got the rest of the day to play with. Got some movies to watch and some things to do. And I'm going to start the edit on this video. So yeah, not a bad way to start the year. Doing something I had not done before. And I recommend that as a way of recalibrating your headspace. Do something you haven't done before. Okay, so we've got to make sure we don't go to the ring road. So right lane only is to go on the ring road. So I'm not doing that. I'm jinking over here. Because much as I like you, I'm not going to go to Ballarat for you today. All the traffic is green, so there's no traffic congestion at all, which is kind of cool. But I think I'll leave it there. We got through the tunnel. We survived. It was all pretty. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can support my endeavors by becoming a patron at patreon.com/TerryTalksMovies. And each month you get a Spotify playlist of weird music I've been listening to. Anyway, until next time, look after yourselves. Be safe. A lot of you people are in the Northern Hemisphere. And there's all this kind of frozen water on the ground. And do something else too. Get out and have a little adventure. This, for me, was a little adventure. It wasn't an enormous adventure. Like, I didn't climb Chomolungma. But it is a tiny adventure. And by the way, these up here on the right are the laser chopsticks. Because the tips of them glow red at night. And they look like giant chopsticks with lasers on the top of them. So I'm going to leave you there. Look, travel safe. Have a good time. Do a tiny adventure for yourself. And I'll be back with more videos very, very soon. Okay?